Sonic Lab
TV.
Hi, I'm Richard Beach from Sonic Days Amped Guitar channel, and today I'll be looking at two new plugins from IK Multimedia. The TrackS 3 Black 76 limiting amplifier and the White 2A limiting amplifier. I'll be testing them against some plugins from Waves and maybe some UAD plugins as well. And I'll be having a look at how they compare on drums, bass, guitars, vocals, just giving you kind of an all-round look at the plugins. So let's get stuck in. So as you can see, I've got the black and the white open side by side here on my Mac. Let's just have a look at the black. We've got input gain selection, which on this edition has been raised by 10 dB. Our ratio there, so 4, 8, 12 and 20, and how you want to measure your metering. Attack and release times, option to have the attack off, and your output level there, and your bypass. Now down here, also, sorry, VU indicator. Down here is a really cool thing you can do. You've got an option of saving 4 quick save presets, and then you can copy the selection that you have to a preset, and basically quickly compare two different sounds. You know, you might have a very, very slightly different compression setting, compare two different things on one snare, see which you like more. Right, so what I'm going to do now is play you a track that is completely unmixed and unleveled. It's literally just a recording. So that's a track I'm mixing for a band at the moment. I've done no work on it whatsoever. I'm going to solo the bass and the kick and the snare drum. Here's what they sound like. Again, with just, well, there's a tiny bit of EQ on them basically, because, yeah, I didn't want people to hear it without any EQ. Kind of dull and a bit lifeless, I would say, which is not a reflection on my tracking abilities. And what I'm going to do now is bring in the Black 76 limiter, and you'll just hear those basically come to life. And I have kind of smashed the bass drum against the kind of compression wall a little bit, but here we go. So very deep, kind of boomy but still tight kick drum there, which is what I like. And yeah, the compressor kind of brings it to life. It sounds good, it sounds nice. It's not a clean compressor, it's definitely got a lot of character to it. So let's just see how a UAD DBX 160 would sound on it, and then maybe one of the Waves SSL compression plugins, and just compare them. I'm going to use a Bomb Factory 76 because it's modelled on the same bit of hardware. So here's what the Bomb Factory sounds like. So again, really smashing the kick drum there. Don't know what you think of that. To me, it doesn't sound as vibey as the IK Multimedia equivalent. I'll bring the IK one in now. IK's back. Sounds a bit more like a punch in the chest, that one. Let's stop that. Now SSL compression from Waves. Here we go. So the SSL one sounds really nice and tight, but it's still not as much of a kind of, like I said, not as much of a punch in the chest as the IK Multimedia one is. So what I'm going to do now is bring in some of the rest of the band and mainly focus on compressing the vocals. This is what the vocals sound like with some of the rest of the tracks without any compression. So basically a little bit lost in the mix, I would say. And what I want to do is give it that kind of Matt Bellamy vocal compression where you can hear some of the breathing, you can hear basically a lot of emotion in the voice, because I think that's what Ben from this band needs. So here we go. And I haven't really had time to do any other processing to his voice, so sorry Ben if you're watching this. So here is the 2A leveling amplifier, the white one, which is basically based on the Teletronics 2A.
And there's a few more lights in the soul, and I really want to speak my mind. Never the same, but when the real life hits and you're only to blame.
So basically, I'm going a little bit over the top there with it, but that's just to kind of show you what it can do. And I think it's got a nice texture to it. If I just reel off a bit of the gain and a bit of the peak reduction, and just turn up the fader on Pro Tools.
Lay down upon the sand, I'll make you think again.
Sounds good.
This life it changes like the tide.
He's quite present, but we won't worry about that. So here's the waves equivalent. Got a feeling this is going to deafen us now.
Come a little closer, love, I bet we'll feel insane. I've got the books of hearts and innocence.
And I've got to say, actually, I quite like the waves one. For me, they're both on the exact same setting, and the waves one is just a little bit kind of more in your face. But the IK Multimedia version of the 2.8 is actually slightly easier to control. And would give you more of a sound that you want on a finished pop record, I think. So definitely useful in that respect. So what I'm doing now is just kind of giving you a point of view shot of what I'm going to do with a guitar that has, as you can see there on the 3 solo channels, 3 different microphones. I want to reel back slightly the abrasive sound of the first microphone, and I want to push the kind of chunky sound of the second mic. So let me just bypass both of the 76s. And it sounds kind of a bit valve radio-esque. So, and that is the first microphone here that's doing that. So fast attack, slow release. I just want to kind of gently bring in some of the nasty abrasive sounds that are at the peak of this wave. So here we go. So that's with it on, with it off. A bit less white noise basically. And then I want to really, really push this other nice sounding low frequency kind of mic. And here we go, this is what that sounds like. So with and without. So loses a bit of body without, and with really brings it to life, feel like you're in the room with the guitar. Okay, so as demonstrated on a guitar there, the 76 TrackS is very good for pushing the kind of sound that you do want, reeling in stuff that you don't want, and just making a guitar sit nicely in a track, which I think is really important. Yeah, I think also very, very good on transient signals like kick drums and snares and stuff. The white 2A compressor limiter worked quite well on vocals, I think. I'd only played around with it for 30 seconds, but I kind of got a simulation of the kind of sound that I wanted, and that I would usually go to an analog compressor like my TLA Ivory Series 1 over there. So they both do the job, they're both good. The white one I maybe would say has maybe slightly too much character. It's kind of got that analog vibe, but you know, in a way that you might not necessarily want in a track. If you don't want that kind of the analog style noise emulation, I would tend to probably go more for the 76, as it just sounds a bit smoother and is punchy without actually kind of bringing unnecessary noise to a track. But you know, having said that, the white 2A is also very, very good compressor from IK, and I think one of the better simulations of the original Teletronics. Yeah, definitely kind of worth a pop really. You can download demos from their website, so definitely worth doing that. And the retail price will be on the bottom of your screen right now. So I would say test it out, see what you think for yourself, and you will probably be pleasantly surprised like I was.